Hola, amigos. It's time to bring the noise. Brad, the Big Noise Evans here with you on this AMA week numero dos. Hopefully, the Thursday night game did you a service. Unfortunately for me, I'm living in the land down underwater presently with some of the sports betting picks that I made. But today is a brand new day. Going to be here for the next 30, 40 minutes or so, answering your pressing fantasy football questions. And if you got any sports betting hot takes, by all means, bring that noise. And again, there are several different ways for you to get a hold of the broadcast. And you submit your questions there at the bottom of the screen via Facebook at Yahoo Noise, on Twitch at Big Noise 78, YouTube and the Fade the Noise channel. X, sometimes these show up. I don't think things are linking up right now. I'm always giving it to you there at Noisy Huevos. If you're watching this on the gamingjuice.com, my website, that's absolutely free. Sign up for a free membership today. You can always fire away your questions in the Ask Brad thread throughout the entire week. Might be tough for me to answer them now because I'm going to be on air here. And then as soon as I wrap with this program, I have another show with my buddy Claudia Bellafato on the Bleacher Report app starting at noon Eastern time. So another AMA session there. Going to be breaking down all our picks in every stinking main slate game here, week 2 of the NFL season. Yeah, if you submit your questions via the thread that we have open right now on the gamingjuice.com, I don't see them because I'm looking at the camera interacting with you. So again, those are the best ways to get in touch with me if you have any pressing fantasy needs. At Yahoo Noise on Facebook, Big Noise 78 on Twitch, the YouTube channel there. And that's the Fade the Noise YouTube channel and X. I mean, you can give it to me there, but I don't think I'm going to see it. So let me get some player props on the board here while those questions are coming in fast and furious. And your comments are already locking and loading right now. Numero tres on this abbreviated edition of the Fade 5 Countdown. All player props all the time. Justin Fields. Yeah, cue the outfield in the background. Your love. I certainly have that. My heart a flutter going pitter pat right now for the over, baby, on rush yards 46.5, taking on the Mile High My Little Ponies, also known as the Denver Broncos. This line opened yesterday. I was waiting all week. Like when am I going to see Fields rush yards? Can I pounce like a panther on it? I actually grabbed it at a couple different thresholds. A mini ladder, took the over on the 42.5 is what it opened at BetMGM, and then took him immediately on 50 or more rush yards. And I got that at plus money. No longer applies, unfortunately. So that discount, bye-bye. He gone. It's out the window. But I think Justin Fields is going to be bye-bye. He gone on occasion in this game. 14 carries over 50 yards last week against the ATL. And you look at the Denver Broncos, a team that number 17 in rush EPAD. They were inside the top 12 and pocket pressure rate in week numero uno. And that's a good thing because if Fields feels that pressure, he's got to call his own number, tuck and run. And we know how dynamic he is in the open field. Now, for fantasy purposes, I'm expecting something around 160 to 180 passing yards, maybe a passing touchdown, maybe even a rushing score, and 50 or more rush yards. So I think he's going to be just inside the top 12 for fantasy purposes this week in single quarterback leagues. I'm playing him everywhere, but I own him everywhere in a super flex. So that's a luxury item here as your QB2, but I think it's going to be approaching 20 or more fantasy points up there in elevation in the Mile High City. So give me the over, baby. Justin Fields, 46.5 rush yards against the Broncos, minus 115 at BetMGM. Numero dos, here are my player props countdown. Can you dig it? Hell yes, I can. On the under, and this number has come down. It was at 56.5. It's what I grabbed at a couple of days ago. A shade 3 yards off that, but I'd still play the under on 53.5 receiving yards tonight under the prime time light. Sunday Night Football taking on Bear down, Chicago Bears. Yeah, we're going to see who other than DJ Moore is going to be catching passes in the game. Might have a little anytime touchdown sprinkle on Cole Kmet. I think DeAndre Swift in the receiving markets, player of muy interesante, whether you're taking the over on the 2.5 receptions or maybe the over on yardage, which is under 20 right now at all the various sports books. But Diggs is my favorite bet here in week number 2 in that land down under. We saw what the playbook was on him in week numero uno against the Indianapolis Colts. Yeah, he saw a healthy 19.4% of the team target share, 6 targets, outstanding, 6 receptions, even more outstanding, but for only 33 yards, had a pair of touchdowns in that game. So, the surface fantasy numbers were outstanding because of those end zone splashes. But you look under the surface, 1.03 yards per route run. Yikes. 5.5 yards per target. Double yikes. He did win his route 17 times. He gets that separation, especially on those quick hitches and slants and hook routes. I think it's going to be more of the same. I guess is very talented secondary of Chicago. I know Kyler Gordon, 103.1 passer rating allowed in week number 1 operating out of the slot, but a nickel dimer to go Billy Graff on it. That's the MO with Diggs. It could be 5 catches. It could be 6 catches again, but I don't think he's going to get to 54 yards under for me. Numero uno, mi amigos. My number 1 play here in week numero dos, the NFL slate of the football Frankenstein. See-hole, smash-hole. Yeah, Derrick Henry. I'm taking the over on 70.5 rush yards. And I think in some of the books, this has crept up to like 71.5. I saw a couple of shops had it 72.5 this morning. It was 69 nice and a half yesterday. That's what I grabbed it at. It's crazy that the numbers are below 80 yards, to be honest with you. He should be a point of emphasis today for the Baltimore Ravens. A heavily favored Baltimore Ravens at 8.5 or 9 at some books. Of Vegas dead last. I know it's a 1-game sample size, Evans. Sample overall, but they are number 32 in rushing PAD. Last week in the matchup against the LA Chargers, they reanimated the corpse of J.K. Dobbins, needing additional evidence. They also gave him 7.7 yards per carry. They also surrendered 161 rush yards just to RBs in that game on 21 attempts. I think Henry, I know he had a lackluster opener, 13 for 46 and a tub on the ground, only 2.34 yards at the contact per attempt, but that's so uncharacteristic for him. Only forced 1 missed tackle, 62.5% of the opportunity share, surrendered some touches to Justice Hill in that game because of the game script and flow. I honestly believe the Ravens should be in command of this one. They're at home. The Raiders made that cross-continental trek, and given how susceptible that front line is, Derrick Henry, I think he smashes the over on 70.5 rush yards, which probably means 10 carries for 25, knowing my luck, but he should flirt with 100 if the Ravens are doing their job up front and throwing some dudes around, which they really shouldn't have with much difficulty against this very beatable Raiders front. So my number 1 play there, minus 125 juice at BetMGM. Hey, don't forget to submit your questions right now, and I'm going to start rifling through them here on this Bring the Noise Week 2 session of the National Football League. Submit your questions via the Facebook at Yahoo Noise, on Twitch at Big Noise 78, YouTube at the Fade the Noise channel. We're going to have a brand new podcast tomorrow with Lundy and I. So check that out on the, Fade 5 in X. If you want to submit it, great, but I'm probably not going to see it because I don't think it's populating here in this thread. And look at all the questions, and we already got a ton of them. No, the X questions are showing up. So again, hit me via Facebook, Twitch, or YouTube, and that's exactly what Willie Page Jr. did. Xavier Legette or Ray McLeod. I did not expect this one out of the gates. I'm Ray McLeod. You want to talk about a stab in the dark? That's certainly him. Legette should get a legit snap share, and you expect Carolina at home. Well, they only have one direction to go, and that is up. It was a rock bottom effort week 1 against the New Orleans Saints. I understand Bryce Young would probably overthrow a sequoia tree, an animated version of one. That's like 300 years old. But look, I'm going to roll the dice here and go with Xavier Legette and hope that Bryce Young can actually hit him in the open field in a game that might be a little bit more high scoring than some of us suspect against the Chargers. Peter says, what's up, at Creatures? Brad, should I start DeAndre Swift or Aaron Jones? I'm worried about the 49ers defense controlling the game flow. Not in Minnesota, eh? I love Aaron Jones this week. Jordan Addison out of action with that ankle injury. So, the target share is going to be spread around. Justin Jefferson getting draped, earning all that attention in the open field and downfield. I think there's going to be a lot of check down opportunities or maybe some design swings and quick posts, quick slants to Aaron Jones. This could be a banner week for him as a receiver. I bet the over on receptions 2.5. I bet the over on receiving yards this week at 17.5. So I'm all in on Aaron Jones. I like DeAndre Swift to a certain extent because this Houston defense is beatable and exploitable. And again, his target share could increase as well, given the injuries to those Bears receivers. So Rome Odunze trending in the right direction. A very questionable Keenan Allen. We'll see if he is in uniform, but Aaron Jones gets the nod for me almost convincingly over DeAndre Swift. The Don 1824 at a PPR setting, Deontay Johnson or Cortland Sutton. Yeah, look, the Pittsburgh matchup isn't the greatest. I can tell you that for the Denver Bronco, but he is the indisputable top option for Bo Nix. Deontay Johnson, the indisputable really top option, although Adam Thielen has an argument there for the Carolina Panthers. Man, gut feeling, you know what? In a PPR, I think the higher floors with Deontay Johnson, and that's the direction I'm going to go. Carolina, I think it's going to play better football. I'm not sure they're going to cover the 5. I wouldn't touch that with a 10,000-foot pole, but I think Deontay maybe get 5, maybe get as many as 6 receptions. Maybe it goes to another negative game script, and he comes out smelling like a rose in garbage time. So distinct possibility there, and that's the direction I lean. Good luck to you. Aubrey, hola to you. I need to sit 1.5 point PPR. Josh Jacobs, Joe Mixon, Jordan Mason, or Kyren Williams. Oh, my God, an embarrassment of riches. Holy mackerel. Okay, so Jacobs, I feel, is going to get an obscene workload today with Malik Willis under center and probably some check down opportunities for him. Probably going to be active as a receiver. I can't bench him, do the volume alone. Mixon, difficult matchup against the Bears, so let's table him for a minute. Jordan Mason. Can't bench him either. I think at minimum it's going to be 20 touches. I think it is going to be a heated affair. I don't think San Francisco is really going to be in control of this game start to finish. I think it's going to be undecided coming down the waning moments. And that's kind of good news for him because he will catch a couple passes out of the backfield. And, of course, Burrow between the tackles as a runner. And then Kyren Williams, I can't bench him. He is getting the lion's share of the opportunities. All that Blake Corum stuff, yet nobody really cares. They didn't see a single snap. And week number 1, Kyron's going to have a big week. I think a top 10 week with ease. So I got Kyron top 10. I got Mason top 10. I have Jacobs top 10. I think I'm mixing like 12 against my Chicago Bears. Bias bleeding through? Possibly. Mixon was outstanding last week. But he's the one I'm coolest on. But all these guys, tremendous option. Joker says, Ola, making a 0.5 point PPR, Zay Flowers with Terry McLaurin. I could stack Terry with Daniels as well. Hells to the yes is what I do. Go with that 1-2 punch of those Commanders against a G-man and that sorrowful secondary and just defense overall. I think McLaurin and Daniels and that stack is the way to play it. Good luck to you, Joker. Jerry says 0.5 point PPR flex. D Hopper getting down with Chase Brown. Yeah, there's the Chase Brown. Brandon Maple Syrup, ILL, baby. Undefeated. How about that? Got the win yesterday, 30-9 over Central Michigan. I like Chase Brown today. And again, that's not because I have maple syrup or this Illinois banner on my left shoulder. I think he's going to be active as a receiver. Again, no T. Higgins. Yoshi Voss will get some targets. Mike Gesicki's an interesting deep league play at tight end or flex. And of course, Jamar Chase is going to eat. But the one thing that I've noticed the last couple of years defensively in Spags' system is it kind of just lets offenses pick you apart in the short to intermediate field and really in the flat more than anything else to pass catching running backs. Who is that guy? It's Chase Brown for this team. So they're going to try to stress and emphasize, establish the run with Zach Moss to keep the ball out of Patrick Mahomes' hands, but they're going to have to get creative at some point. And a great extension of that run is those dump down swings, design screens to getting down. Jug with my guy, Chase Brown. That's who I'm picking there. Jason, Brad, what's going on, my man? What's going on with you? Need to start one. Zamir White Juggernaut Javonte Williams or Gus the Bus. Zamir White, he gone out. Game flow script not going to be conducive for favorable fantasy results for him. Juggernaut Javonte, full-blown RBBC. I don't like the matchup against the Steel Towners. Give me the wild card here in Gus Edwards. And this is real, folks. All the bets that I post on my spreadsheet, I think I'm up to 47 here in week 2. Yeah, you might have a problem, Evans. Sure. Okay, great. Whatever. My money, my volition, my decision. Those are real. Okay. I wager on every single one of those tickets that I post on the spreadsheet, and I track it all. And this morning, I locked and loaded a Gus Edwards anytime touchdown at plus 150. I know people are all, giddy and hot and bothered about J.K. Dobbins, but Dobbins only played a dozen snaps last week. They're bringing him along slowly. I might be a slight increase there, but I think Gus the Bus is going to get his opportunities. And knowing how god-awful Carolina was, pretty much in every facet defensively, number 30 in EPA run defense in week number 1, I think Edwards will have a shot, maybe even 3 to splash 6. So he's my wild card pick there. Colin says, hola to you. Jordan Macer, Jahmyr Gibbs, in a full point PPR ILL and I to you. Lucky 7 situation. I don't think you can really go wrong in either direction here. The PPR element, may sway things a slight favor to Jahmyr Gibbs, but I actually have Mason higher in a half-point PPR. I think both are got to, be minimum RB1s in 12-team leagues. So I'm going with Mason. Slimmest of margins over Jahmyr Gibbs, but if you want to fade the noise, I don't hate it. Scott Shapiro, Calvin Ridley, or Adonai Mitchell. Mitchell's interesting, had some missed opportunities, and that's kind of going to be the story with Anthony Richardson because he's so inaccurate at times. I like the Riddler. I think the Riddler is going to have a decent game today for the Tennessee Titans. I know Tennessee is taking on the Jets, Jets, an outstanding secondary, and they were embarrassed last week. The Jets were. Calvin Ridley is a guy that is going to get probably the lion's share of targets in that game. May get some Sauce Gardner, but what version of Sauce we get to see? If we see the one from week 1, highly torchable and beatable, I like Ridley a little bit more than Mitchell because I simply don't trust Anthony Richardson. Steve says, hola, amigo. Hola to you. Points per completion. Interesting. Brock or Baker or quarterback today. I want every piece I can get in Tampa and Detroit. I did bet the over on 51.5. I have like a number of tickets open, whether in SGPs, individual wagers. They're all my always free, always transparent, always public spreadsheets on thegamingjuice.com in this contest. I think it's going to be a pew, pew, pew shootout affair. So as a result, give me Baker, hopefully for you, the completion maker. Sean says, hola, Brad. Hola to you, Sean. A flex question, half-point PPR. Rice or Jacobs and a half-point PPR. Love both these guys this week, but Josh Jacobs for me. I'm going to go with a guaranteed volume there. He says, Lockett likely, Pitts, Jaden Reed, sit 1 point PPR. So I'm assuming you have likely, not Lockett likely, I did be picking here. So Tyler Lockett, Isaiah Likely, Pitts, Jaden Reed, sit 1 in a PPR. It's got to be Tyler Lockett. I want nothing to do with that guy. He is so hit or miss, and I understand Jaden Reed's got Malik Willis, but the beauty of Reed is he'll get some touches there on the ground like he did in week 1 south of the equator there in that Sao Paulo matchup. And Pitts found the end zone. Who would have thunk it? You throw it to Kyle Pitts, he might make plays. And you might say, well, he was wide-ass open defender. Thought he had a devastating case of herpes or something. I don't know. But he still, caught a touchdown. That's all that really matters. So for me, Lockett is the one I'm going to sit out of that group. Clint says, hola, amigo, to you. Full point PPR, Anthony Richardson or Goff. Floor versus ceiling. The ceiling, I think, is a little bit higher for Richardson this week because of that duality. However, the floor for Goff, I believe, is a little bit higher in a game that's got a lot of that, again, pew, 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 shootout appeal. And you look at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they're already down 2 starting defenders, most notably Antoine Winfield in that secondary. Highly beatable, highly exploitable. It could be an explosive effort for Jared Goff today. I talked about it on my new show. Hope you're listening across Odyssey on the Odyssey app. It's streaming all over the place, even in the gamingjuice.com. And I'm going to be in DC tomorrow at National Harbor, which I'm going to be there every single Monday, myself and Ryan Horvat. For Bet MGM tonight. We do 4 hours of radio programming every single night. So check that out. So the point I bring that up is because we talked about golf, or at least I did, and you dropped the bomb on me, baby. Our bombs away segment we had earlier this week, I picked him for 3 or more touchdowns. Horvat went with Matthew Stafford, who I also like, but I'm going to go with Jared Goff there. Chicago D, Devonta Smith, DJ Moore, Chris Godwin, J-Mo, need 2 in a standard. Oh, standard, man. Come on. Evolve. Have at least like a half-point PPR. Like, who plays in standard leagues anymore? It's all about touchdowns, which are rare for Godwin, even though we caught one in week 1. Give me DJ Moore. He's going to be a point of emphasis. And, again, you can really beat up on this Houston secondary, and I think you're going to see a much better version of Caleb Williams. I'm going to go with Devontae Smith as well. A.J. Brown, highly questionable with that hamstring strain. Even if he does go, he's probably going to be limited. So Devonta Smith against the DBs of Atlanta is going to be a point of emphasis. So Moore and Devonta Smith are my plays. Willie Page Jr., Charbonnet, or Zamir White. It's Charbonnet all day for me. Steven says, hi there. Hi, Steven. What are your thoughts on Brandon Cooks in the flex? Not terrific thoughts. I wouldn't chase last week's numbers, but I don't know who else you have to lean on. I'm thinking at most you're looking at like 4 catches, probably 45 yards, and maybe a touchdown. I think New Orleans, the real version, is going to show up this week. They're going to come crashing back down to earth. Dallas possibly could be in command for a large chunk of the second half, which means it would be a limited opportunity share for Brandon Cooks. Tread very lightly with him. That's all I'll say there. Ryan says Baker Mayfield or Justin Fields. Man, I do love me some Fields this week, but again, I want every piece of action, every slice of the pie I can get in that Buccaneers and Tigers, although they're also in Detroit Lions matchup. They're all about the kitties in the Motor City. Look, I think Baker Mayfield's probably got a higher floor, quite honestly, than Justin Fields. So that's the direction I lean there. Scott says Calvin Ridley or Mitchell. already answered that. Kirk says go Illini. Yeah. Go Illini indeed. And hopefully Chase Brown can do something today. I need him in a couple of deeper leagues in the flex. Hockey Nut 41 on Twitch. Sutton, Keenan, or Jameson Williams. Well, Keenan Allen's a full-blown game time decision. He out. Cortland Sutton, he out, just because I'm not particularly fond of the matchup. Give me Jameson Williams. I know you're already going St. Brown, but get as much action as you possibly can as my recommendation in Lions and Bucks, which means a 4-2 finish. Nothing but safeties, probably. Clint says, full point PPR, need a tight end and a flex. A flex can be a tight end as well. Okay, interesting note there. DeMarcus Robinson, Colby Parkinson, Isaiah Likely, or Madison. Likely's in. He's, nowhere going to be close to what he did last week, but maybe catches, 3 to 4 balls. I think that's a decent percent chance. Robinson, a pretty, sustainable floor, around 3 to 4 catches, around 45 to 55 yards. Parkinson in a similar vicinity. I kind of like Colby Parkinson slightly more than a Marcus Robinson. So give me Parkinson and give me Likely. I want nothing to do with Alexander Madison. We may catch like 3 to 5 balls playing catch up. John says, hola to you, Murray or Burrow. Burrow's just not 100% healthy. I'm going to go Kyler Murray here. The Dachshund of the desert. Got to scoot those little legs. And again, that also has plenty of shootout appeal. Taking on the Rammies. By the way, I love Greg Dortch, and a little bonus time here on the over 3.5 receptions. Grab that at DraftKings at plus 125. I'm not saying playing for fantasy purposes. He might have like 5 for 35 yards and no touchdown, but he'll be a nickel and dimer. Should be in that game. But yeah, give me Kyler Murray there. Johnny says, Alvin Kamara or Christian Kirk in the flex. Alvin Kamara all day, not even close in my mind. Phil's hola amigo. Hurt so good. Come on, Jalen, make it hurt so good. Let's see. I have Jalen Hurts slightly higher than Kyler Murray. Both have a decent chance of finding the end zone with the legs. But I'm going to go with Jalen Hurts, even with or without A.J. Brown, and maybe that's an increased emphasis to run the ball in that particular contest. Candace said Olave, Neighbors, or Ford for the flex. Ford is out. It comes down to Chris Olave. Does have a bounce back after that really bizarre clunker effort in a game in which New Orleans, I think, is still scoring points. That guy was, you're thinking, hey, you saw the service score, you click the box score. Oh, Chris Olave went off, man. He had a $120, like 3 tutties. Not even remotely close. I love Neighbors this week. A guy that should absolutely torch the worst secondary in the league there on the Washington Commanders. And don't worry about the designation with the injury. Of course, that was lifted yesterday. He was fine, had a brief setback, a little bit of tightness in the lower body, but he's A-okay. And I know Daniel Jones sucks, royally sucks. But Neighbors is going to get force-fed, funnel the football. He could be wide ass open. So as a result, I took the over on 5.5 receptions. I'm in the alt market, 75 or more receiving yards. I got those at both plus money. Maybe an anytime touchdown, all within reach for him today. Steve says PPR league need a running back and a flex. Injuries are crushing me. My choices are Madison, Darnell Mooney, Jalen Warren, which two? Warren's probably got the safest floor of the bunch. Madison, God. Yeah, probably Madison and Warren in a PPR league. They have the best chance to get you maybe 3, 4, 5 receptions. Mooney may have like 2 catches for 40 yards, and that's it on Monday night, though the matchup on paper ain't too shabby. Colin says, are you worried about the injury designation on Jamison Williams against a depleted Tampa Bay secondary? No, I'm not. I practice on a limited basis all week, so he's gotten some of those sessions in. They're being cautious with him, bringing him along. My only concern is if he gets rolled up on. I mean, he's kind of a slightly built dude. He's not a brick house by any stretch of the imagination. And that ankle then flares up, and he's getting taped up, and he can't go and push off the rest of the game. That's the downside with Jamison Williams. But man, that secondary, already hurting badly there in Tampa. So I take my chances. Steve says, PPR need a flex at a wide receiver. Choices are 2 spots. Pickens, Warren, Mooney, Kirk, Zay Flowers. George Pickens, I think, could have kind of a down game today. Zay Flowers automatically in, especially if you got to play at least a wide receiver. Warren, probably not. Mooney, definitely not. Christian Kirk, decent slot coverage there for the Cleveland Browns. I tell you what, give me Pickens. Maybe I'm horribly wrong. And Zay Flowers. Good luck to you. Clint, will the Bears shut down Tank Dell, enough to bench him? Also drop 1, please. Standard scoring. Well, it depends what your alternatives are. Tank Dell, I have ranked just outside my top 36. That Bears secondary is entirely legit. But Tank Dell obviously is a guy that can catch one ball, quick slant, and pow, he gone. So it depends what the options are, the crutches you can lean on. The drop and the standard scoring, DeMarcus Pittman or Lazard. I'm dropping Pittman. It's probably DeMarcus Robinson, even though he's going to see a surplus today with Puka Nacua out for the next 5 to 7 weeks, I think was reported this morning. CB 1995. That was a hell of a year for your boy. I had long flowing hair back then. Not anymore. Hola, amigos. At a full point PPR, Zach Moss or Cortland Sutton. I'm still going to go Moss in a PPR. Ridley or Tony Pollard. Tony Pollard all day. He is my fantasy flame at running back. And I read about flames, no lames this year, just all flames. And we go a position a day starting on Tuesdays. Quarterback, running back, and wide receiver and tight end on thegamingjuice.com. And you don't pay a single cent to read those posts. So hopefully you're checking those out. Shane says, hola to you. Play 2 in a PPR. DraftKings. DK, you see where my head is at. DK Metcalf, Jamison Williams, DJ Moore, and Terry McLaurin playing 2. Terry's in my lineup, and I'm going to go DK Metcalf, slight edge there. DLD, Brian Thomas or Gus Edwards, the second flex. Again, I think Gus, a bus, is going to find the end zone. So I'm going to lean with Edwards. Paul says, amigo, Brian Robinson Jr., Rashad White, Harrison for the flex and a half-point PPR. I think Robinson's going to find the end zone. I think the best floor of all these guys, though, is probably Rashad White at half-point PPR. He may catch another 6 to 8 passes today. I believe the Buccaneers are going to be playing from behind the second half, and he may not lead the field very much. Bucky Irving will supplant him at times. But for me, Robinson is probably the highest ceiling, maybe even the safest floor there, though the floor is nearly identical to that of Rashad White. Harrison, odd man out. People were overpaying for him in drafts. I was trying to tell you, and maybe I'll be wrong. All right, I got to go lightning quick here because we got a ton of questions to answer. Ravens or Seahawks? Give me the Ravens. Phils goes, thegamingjuice.com is a great read, everyone. Must check it out. Yes, please, Phils. I say thank you. Thank you very much for the shout outs. We're trying very hard there to build a community. I'm only answering your Twitter X questions on that website. So if you see me not respond, that's the reason why, because we have a thread. It's called Ask Brad. There's no distractions. It's a great thing about it. Just go in, drop a question in, and when I get to it, I will answer it in a timely fashion. A lot of people are doing that, and we're cranking out a ton of content. All my rankings are living there. I'm updating them throughout the entire week. Go to thegamingjuice.com via Jackwagons and sign up for a free account today. Start one quarterback from Shane. Caleb Williams or Geno? Caleb Williams. Don't feel great about that. Kirk says, half point PPR flex. B-Rob or Shaheed? B-Rob all day. Not even remotely close. Scott says, hey, Brad, Brian Robinson, Devin Singletary. B-Rob, not even remotely close there. Shane says, I think I just answered that one. Guillermo, hola, mega full point PPR. Mason, Scary Terry, Brian Robinson Jr. in the flex. It's got to be Jordan Mason. The workload is going to be vigorous. Betting lock of the day. Locks do not exist. Ask me a better question. Locks are, I hate the L word. I hate the G word. I hate easy money. I hate everything about all that stuff. It's like a grift. People that spew that nonsense are just trying to get those buzzwords out there, desperate for attention. They don't exist in gambling. So don't use lock. I'll step down from my post and my soapbox right now. I tell you, the play I really like a lot is the over on Derrick Henry rush yards. Again, I grabbed it at 69.5. Nice. And I play that sucker up to 79.5, maybe even a little sprinkle on 100 or more rush yards, but there's no locks, DLD. Tommy says, pick two, Brian Robinson, Kirk, Pollard, Shaheed, and Carr or Herbert. I'm going to go Herbert at quarterback. Pollard of 100% for one, and Brian Robinson for the other. Good luck to you. Jay Reed says, Daddy want, Daddy need, Daddy gotta have it. Yeah, Sledgehammer special. Illinois will make the top 25. Well, maybe. We're going to find out if they are going to take down the Cornhuskers in Lincoln on Friday night. Another ranked opponent. We'll see. True colors time. Jerry says, Bucky Irving or Chase Brown at a half point PPR. I'm slightly leaning to Chase Brown. More conventional one, please, from Steve. Full point PPR, Ramondre, the other or McLaurin. I like both these guys. I'm going to go with the guaranteed volume, though, in Stevenson. Johnny says 2 quarterback PPR. PPR really doesn't come into play when you're talking about quarterbacks, Caleb Williams or Geno Smith. For me, it is Caleb Williams. Ramsey, morning, bro. Morning, bro. I need help on my flex. Standard the league. And a standard. All right, who's going to score a touchdown? Diggs or Adams? I know Diggs had 2 TDs last week, but more difficult coverage assignment for him against my Chicago Bears. Give me Adams. Mas tequila for Johnny. Mas tequila, mi amigos. Oh, there's my friendly bottle right there. Little mini. Class A Azul. Highly recommend it if you never had that. Josh, Charbonnet or Moss? Charbonnet all day. Mike says, hey, Mike, what's going on? I'm on St. Brown or Diggs. Not remotely close to the St. Brown. And yes, I'm on mini overs on props tied on Raw today. I should be a bounce back performance. JR, Gail Padilla, Ola Amigo, Amari Cooper or Christian Kirk? Oh, Amari Cooper. Yeah, thanks for that reminder. I wanted to get in a bet on him. Facing that Jacksonville secondary that's really banged up down their top cover corner and Tyson Campbell. Mandatory Montgomery yet again. Anytime, I'm in, man. I actually have it written down right here. It's on my spreadsheet as well, but there it is. Dave Montgomery, if you can read my chicken scratch, touchdown Detroit money line. I grabbed that earlier the week at a plus 110 at BetMGM, and I'm sticking to it. Peter says Parkinson or Taysom Hill. Parkinson for me. T beat a whole bunch of numbers and a couple letters in there. Ola Brad, favorite tight end streamer, Henry Otten Hurst Gasecki. It's Mike Gesicki. We'll stop there. Ryan says PPR need two between mandatory Montgomery, Joe Mixon, or Chase Brown. It's Mixon, mandatory Montgomery, please. Tommy says Ford or Williams. And a PPR, I got St. Brown in my lineup. Slight lean to Jerome Ford. John says Brad Evans, who do you start, Dak or Matty Stafford? Both, I think, are going to be top 10 quarterbacks this week. Very close, but Matthew Stafford, because I think that game is going to be highly competitive, and can't really say the same about that Cowboys matchup taking on New Orleans Saints. Johnny says, sorry, I meant to say Kamara or Brian Robinson in a standard. Again, I got an anytime touchdown prop on Brian Robinson at plus 145. I like Kamara more in a PPR, but again, in a standard league, who has the best shot of finding the end zone? To me, it's Brian Robinson. Jan says, hey, Brad, I missed you. Oh, I missed you too, my man. PPR, DK Metcalf, Deontay Johnson, or Jaden Reed. Oh, it's got to be DK for me. Colin, Jameson Williams, or Calvin Ridley. Jameson Williams, I'll take the risk with the ankle. We need the soundboard back. I miss those great sounds. I got a note from YouTube because I guess I was using copyrighted music. So the soundboard is deceased for now. Maybe I'll resurrect it at some point, but I don't want to get sued either, bro. Danny says, sledgehammer, daddy want, daddy need, daddy gotta have it. Again, you get all the sledgehammers in the world on BetMGM tonight. I'm on Monday through Friday, 7-11 p.m. Eastern across Odyssey stations. You can download the app. We're streaming it all over the damn place as well. YouTube, on my website, thegamingjuice.com. I mean, good Lord. Jim says, Worthy or Brian Thomas Jr. in a PPR flex. I bet on the under Xavier Worthy, 43.5 receiving yards. My body is prepared to get burned. I'm going to go Brian Thomas Jr. Danny says, thegamejuice.com straight fire. Well, thank you, my man. I much appreciate it. Yeah, Boom Press is, they designed the site. They laid everything out. Tremendous job. They are killing it. Slowly but surely, we're going to unroll some new bells and whistles. It takes time to develop these things. Our site is barely 7.5 months old. So, we've only been around since February, so we got to give it some time. Let it simmer, as the kids say. Gypsy Queen says, happy Sunday, Fields or Caleb Williams. It's Fields for me. Good luck to you, Gypsy. Dustin says, good morning, Brad. Great to hear you again. Hey, I never went anywhere. You got to find me. I have Cup in my lineup. As for quarterback, should I start Murray or stack with Stafford? Man. Oh, I love Matty Stafford today. I think the difference here is Kyler Murray rush yards. So give me Kyler Murray. Jim says, Kyler or Daniels. Another one I really like, but Jaden Daniels, slight edge over Kyler Murray. Again, both these guys I have like top 8 this week. Colin says Robinson Jr. or Gibbs. I'm going to go with Gibbs. I think they're both going to find the end zone. And again, the receptions factor there. The Robinson's a very effective 3-down running back. Gibbs barely gets the nod. Jamie says likely or Bowers. Give me Brock Bowers, actually. Lovave, coffee. I want your shirt. Oh, yeah, Noisy Weibo shirt. Twitter handle. RotoWare hooked me up with this a while ago. I don't think they're making them anymore. It might have been like a limited edition. I got a backup there that I have on display. Yeah, that's a pretty dope shirt. I can, shout out to Kenneth and the gang there at RotoWare. They got a lot of great content and shirts, mainly baseball, but check out rotoware.com. Standard League, Lazard or Cooper. Amari Cooper for me, please. Kimberly says, hola to you, Kimberly. Najee Harris or Tony Pollard at a PPR today. Oh, it's Tony Pollard. I understand that Tyjae Spears, the coaching staff, has said, hey, we want to be closer to a 50-50 split in this backfield. I still think Pollard's going to get at least 15 touches. I think he's going to catch maybe 3-4 balls in this game, maybe 12, 13 carries. And again, I got on fantasy flame material. I'm on the over on rush yards. I grabbed it at 49.5 earlier this week at BetMGM. Kind of like him on the over combined yards, rushing, receiving. Kind of like him on the over on the receptions as well. He is going to play a viable role, and that Jets front line is going to be bad. There was a concern heading into week 1. They got exposed by Jordan Mason and the San Francisco 49ers. And I think the good times, they may never arrive in that area defensively for the New York Jets. So hopefully Tony Pollard won't do me dirty. All right. Just a friendly reminder. I've got a website. It's called thegamingjuice.com. Please go there and sign up for a free account right now. All kinds of content rolling out. We'll have additional content. We got stuff in there. My rankings are prepared for week 2. My fantasy flames, my top props piece, which I posted on Friday, a Sunday night pick as well, and an SGP for Sunday night as well. Although I think I'm over in the column so far on those SGPs. So please, gambling gods, be kind to me. I need a winner. The free spreadsheet is there with all of my picks, all 47 plays. I think I'm up to right now. I might have a couple of more before the day is out. Go to thegamingjuice.com. Help me help you. Sign up for a free account there. I got to exit. Also, reminder, Bleacher Report. I'm going to be on the app in less than 20 minutes with my buddy Claudia Bellafato, breaking down every single matchup and answering more of your fantasy football questions. Good luck to all of you out there and bring the noise land. Until next time, adios, amigos.